Hey guys, welcome back to another Bassmaster Open Anglers weigh-in on Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. You know, the guys in this room with me right now have absolutely killed it this year, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But more so, we're going to help you make your picks for Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing to make sure that you win whatever league, whatever competition, or even if it's against your buddy, make sure you have the right picks. So, hey guys, welcome in. Last event was at Lake Champlain, and let's just go ahead and say both of y'all are absolutely killing me. Todd, you had a phenomenal event. Something I noticed. I feel like we picked the winner. At least one of us has picked the winner almost every single event this year, which is
Yeah.
pretty remarkable if you ask me. Out of 80 something guys, so.
I think Todd may have actually even passed me. His last 2 weeks have been so strong. I think he's actually passed me in the overall point system as well because I think
What are
overall
you?
I'm in like the 98% percentile. I mean, I'm in the top 500.
Yeah,
and
what's your rank though?
my ranking is 494.
Oh yeah, I'm 427.
See, I thought he was in front of me. He's had some really strong weeks. So last week alone, I scored 1,231, which the 1,200 seemed to be the average of what it might take to be there in contention in the end. A guy that's averaging around 1,200 a week. I've heard that in years past it's been more closer to 11, so it's been a little bit tighter this year. But what did you score last week, Todd?
Just 1272, which is weird because like I'll be honest with you, like this is my first year, so I hadn't paid a lot of I'm just trying to pick people who I think are going to do good.
Right.
And now I'm looking at my bonuses, and I got 40 bonus points for Seth Fighter, right? And Polnick, I picked Polnick, and he won it. I picked him in Group A, and I got 5 bonus points for him. I got more points for Fighter than I did for Polnick, I guess because of what Big Bass and some other things. So, yeah, like I think the Jamie Hartman was a better pick. I think because you get the bonus points. So I haven't really paid. I don't know if I'll change my picks because of that, but there's a lot.
It's really hard to guess who's going to catch a big fish or something like that.
Well, Seth might not have been that might have been I will say that probably would have been the easiest pick of the entire year, unless they go sight fishing and Cox is like rolling around. But I mean,
No, I agree completely. I mean, you look at Seth Fighter's track record on Lake Champlain. The guy's just uber confident there. You can't ask for much better of a situation than what he was presented with. I mean, they were in the grass, they were around docks. He could catch them flipping. That's what he likes to do. And then he went and crushed on some smallmouth on the last day. So I just overall, and the other thing is, I don't know if we mention it enough here, but all this, you can catch all this live action on ESPN2 every single day of the event, which is just ridiculous. I was getting messages all week from family members and saying, "Hey, are you fishing this?" I'm like, "No, I'm not fishing it," but just how awesome it is that a fishing, organization like Bass is actually live on, not, this isn't a recorded show, nothing like that, true live on ESPN2. That, I mean, there's nothing that can even remotely touch that. It's not even close.
I agree 100%. I spend a lot of time watching it myself. And the fantasy fishing kind of draws you in too, because it does get you more involved. It's just like playing fantasy in any sport, and it makes you pay attention. So
fantasy changed how I viewed football for all them years. This has totally actually made me become a fan of some of these guys, or like pulling for them, like I fished against a lot of these guys, right? So I mean, I kind of am always going to be a little bit more. I'm always going to pick the guys that I know. I'm really good buddies with certain guys. So I'm trying not to be a homer with some of those guys because I almost feel bad not picking them. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool because like some of these guys, I'm paying attention to a lot more.
Well, with that being said, I feel like this is a perfect segue into jumping into Lake St. Clair. Todd, last time you were there, you had a fantastic event. I've had a really good track record there. Hallman, Hallman has grown up catching smallmouth, and St. Clair is definitely one of those places we've all visited numerous times and caught 1,000,000 3 to 5 pound smallmouth there. This week they are going to be, it's going to be hot. The smallmouth are going to be moving around, and I really think that you're going to see some guys catch them out of the river. You're going to see some guys catch them out of the lake, and you're going to see some guys make some long runs, and that's pretty predictable with a St. Clair Lake Erie tournament. You're going to have guys making those long runs to try to catch those bass, and I really don't think this event's going to be any different. I do think the rivers are going to play much more in this event, and mainly because people trying to run away from fishing pressure. So with that being said, Hallman, I'm going to let you start it out. Group A at Lake St. Clair.
This is a really tough week and this is a really tough group to start the tough week with. There are so many heavy hitters in Group A, especially just for this event. It is very difficult to pick a correct one because there very well may be 5 to 6 guys in Group A that are in the top 10 when this thing is over. So I don't know that really there's a wrong pick unless you just happen to pick one of those guys that doesn't get there. I've been back and forth. I mean, I have had some hard times with Group A. I finally landed on Paul Mueller, but guys, I wanted Chad Pipkins. I think he can get it done. I think Clark Wendland's going to get it done. I think Polinick's going to get it done. I think Gussie can get it done. I mean, there is just a lot of guys in this group. Matt Airy's going to catch him here. Canterbury's going to catch him here. And Jamie Hartman and Seth Fider are going to catch him here. Like, I don't know the right or wrong pick. I'm going with Paul Mueller, I guess, just because I'm going on Garmin alone, live scope, kicks their butt up there, and I'm going with live scope guys throughout this whole deal. You'll see me do that through this pick.
Todd, who you got?
I'm gonna ask you a question. So when we were there in what, late June?
Late June.
We were there.
Yeah.
There were shallow ones there, right?
Yep.
And that's pretty predominant early, like
Not
June.
now.
Not now. It's going to be a lot more deeper situation out in the grass or the closer to the river channel. As the year goes on, the hotter it gets, those fish tend to move towards that channel and even migrate up into the river. So the fish come down from Huron into the St. Clair River, and they kind of suck to that current because that's the coolest water. And so you're going to see a lot of the big name guys, the way they're going to catch them is going to be more adjacent to that channel.
I mean, that's kind of where I fished when I was there.
But you were catching them shallow though, weren't you?
I caught them shallow, but yeah. I see these names here, and I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about or not. Like, I know how Mullins and I know how those guys fish at Champlain, and it will fish nothing like Champlain. Like, the guys that really caught them at Champlain will not. I'm not saying they can't catch them here. I'm saying that the guy who – there's 2 guys in this – well, 3 really that fished that did really, really well at Champlain that I think is going to translate the exact same way. And I think Paul Mueller's one, Hartman's one, and Polnick's one. I think those are the 3 that caught them the best there. Like, Fider caught them flipping. No one's going to catch them flipping, right? Like, the other guys were cranking grass. Like, so I can't believe I'm picking Brandon again. Because of how he caught him there, I think it's just going to be another lake for him. He's going to go from that lake to that lake and go catch him there.
I think Brandon's a super solid pick. I mean, the deal is I really, like Hallman said, I really think there's like 6 or 7 guys that are probably without a doubt going to be in the top 10 just out of this one group, which makes it much more difficult because at the end of the day, you need to pick the person who wins or the person who catches big bass, big bag, that kind of stuff. So it's even more important in this group than any is to really make sure you hit that home run pick. The thing about Polnick is Polnick has caught him there in the river. Like, he's a very good St. Clair River fisherman, and I think that's exactly how he's going to catch him this time too. But I went a different direction. I'm behind. I'm in like rank, I don't know, 3,000 or something. So obviously not very good. And many of you at home, I'm at 91%, which is still good, but it's just not 98%.
Can I say something? Because I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know where you're going with this, I think. And I want to say this, and I mean this for people that are behind this. The best dark horse that we have seen this entire year, as far as a dark horse, percentage wise, if you go off numbers, is on this sheet. He's the most probably, I have to really look, but he's very likely to be the most decorated angler of this entire tour.
Yep.
And he is an older guy, but he is an older guy that burns with desire. He's not in retirement or close to it. This guy wants to win. This guy's won here, I believe. This guy's a powerhouse on these types of places. And he's a Garmin electronic live scope guy. He's got it all, checks all boxes, and he's at 1%. Is that who you're picking?
Clark Winlet. Clark has spent from Champlain the entire time up in New York, fishing some of the Great Lakes, spending his time with his wife up there, fishing literally every single day. He's at 1%, which is ridiculous. He finished second there last year in the Angler of the Year Championship. Seth Feider actually blew that thing out, was on track to catch over 100 pounds. Will Feider do it again? There's no telling with Feider. I think that he's going to have a good event. Will he blow it out? I don't know. I know without a doubt Clark Winlet is in the top 6, I think, in points. And that guy, when he gets close to that Angler of the Year deal, like, he's going to go out there and catch him because he wants to win Angler of the Year. And I think he's going to have that burning desire. I think guys like Hartman's leading Angler of the Year right now. I think he's going to be more of the maintainer. He's going to try to maintain that lead. But guys that are behind, they got to make up a big distance. And I think this is one of those events where Clark Winlet can actually make up some ground. And he's super low on 1%. I mean, he would typically be a dark horse in this, what I would consider a dark horse. But he's going to be my number 1 pick in Group A, even with despite, I want to go Chad Pipkins because I think Pipkins is going to smash him because he literally smashes him there almost every single time. Polnick's going to smash him. Matt Airy literally has had a top 15 finish there the last 4 times he's gone. So he's a shoe-in to me in the top 10. Scott Canterbury is sitting in the top 4 in points right now. He's got a chance to come back and win Angler of the Year for the 2nd time in a row, and he always catches them there as well. And Paul Mueller goes without saying. I mean, the guy's just a smallmouth king, and Garmin Live Scope is definitely something that he has excelled at. I mean, it's definitely perfected, and it's something that I think is definitely 1,000% going to play in this event is Garmin Live Scope. So, Hallman, who do you have Dark Horse Group A?
Oh, Clark Winlet, without a doubt.
Yeah, I figured so. What about you, Todd?
I think this is a pointless one, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't even find a guy. I'm serious. I can't find anyone that I wouldn't pick.
Yeah.
That any of these guys can make a top 10. So it really is pointless to me. Like, I was thinking really Matt Airy too. The same deal. That, like, he's just not saying he's going to win, but I mean, he's going to.
He is. He's at 0.9%. Yeah, and he's a top 10 guy at St. Clair.
Yeah. It's a pointless. Not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't. There's not too many times where I can just go, yeah, these are all good ones.
There very well could be 10 guys off of Group A that are top 10. I mean, it can happen.
Well, I mean, you also got Micah Frazier in there, and Micah Frazier is won at St. Clair not St. Clair, at St. Lawrence River, almost won there again. I mean, the guy can catch smallmouth. He's really good, especially in current situations, and that's what they're going to be faced with if they fish the river.
I mean, Hallman didn't even go Canadian. He's got his old Canadian Jeff in there. He's got his Canadian Gussie in there. He didn't even pick him either.
I'm fixed to go Canadian. Let's go on to Group B.
Let's go Group B. How about you, Todd? What you got? Have you even looked at it?
Of course I haven't looked at it.
Well, then I'll start. Group B.
I already got it, but go ahead.
Oh, gosh. Go ahead. I want to say – go for it.
Hold on. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
What?
Someone jumped in there on me. I got to pick between 2 people.
He's studying. Go ahead, Andrew.
All right, I'm going to go off the beaten path. Not off the beaten path too terribly much. I mean, in this group, you have Corey Johnston. He's going to be the overwhelming favorite. Canadian angler. We've already had one Canadian win this year with his brother Chris. Will Corey be the second brother to win this year? I don't know. I'm not picking Corey, though. I'm actually going Stetson Blaylock. And the reason I'm going Stetson Blaylock is he's extremely proficient with his Garmin Live Scope. I think that is going to play major at this event. And he's always caught him there. Like, literally every single time he's gone to St. Clair, he's caught him. He understands that place. He likes that place. I think you're going to see the result speak for itself. It's a bad thing here is it's basically like a 3 or 4 horse race in this one. Again, just like Group A, you got Zaldane, you got Johnston, you got Hunter Shyrock, which is from Ohio. The Shyrock brothers always catch them, it seems like, when they go up there. You've got guys here, Austin Felix even smashes them there just about every single time. But like I said, I'm going Stetson Blaylock. I think he is the number 1 pick in this group.
I'm with you. There's a lot of good guys in this group as well. I'm going Corey Johnston. My reasoning in this is that they had a little time to go back home after the last event, or they've had, a little time off, and I'm sure they've had some celebration parties for Chris. And I just got a feeling that Corey was at a couple of those little get-togethers and thought, you know what, I want one of those blue trophies too. So this would be a great place for him to pick it up. He top 10 here when they were here last year. So Corey Johnston.
Let's hear it, Todd. Who you got?
Remember, I went off the beat. I didn't say off the. Y'all picked the brother. I picked Corey last time, and he was in 36 after day 1. And then, went right. Like, he got a top 10 for me last week.
He got me. I had him too. He ended up getting me one too.
So I saw one guy. See, I had to pick between 2 guys last week, and I chose right. Between Chris Zaldane and Paul Nick, and I chose Paul Nick. I'm with you on the, like, I was gonna pick Zaldane in this, and then I saw Corey Johnston's name. If I'm smart, I'm kind of now. You know what? Let's do this. Let's play the smart game on this.
This is how I thought about it. If your life depended on it, which one are you going to let it ride with? The Canucks bring it home.
I'm with you on this. Like, I wanted to pick it. When I saw it, I'm like, no, I got my pick already. It's Zaldane.
It's a good pick.
I know it is, but I know that Corey's going to do, like, the worst he'll do is top 20. The worst.
Yeah.
Picked him. Corey.
I don't think you can ever go wrong with those picks.
No.
Especially in a group that is definitely loaded up like that.
Yeah.
Zaldane definitely deserves a win, and I really hope he gets him one. He's been super close all of last year, basically, almost every single event.
The dude loves that spy bait. He's ate up with it, and those giants eat that thing there. So it's a great place for him to win one.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he's going to have a clear advantage. I think it's 3 people there. I think you can't really go wrong. Corey, Zaldane, or Stetson.
They do like the spy bait there.
That's a big deal there.
Big ones like it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The ones that play. That's right.
Yeah.
And I know Stetson has spent some time with that spy bait as well. So Stetson's going to catch him, I'm telling you. My dark horse, and we call it a dark horse. It's really not a dark horse per se. It's just a secondary pick. Who would I pick second if I couldn't pick the first person? It's really hard to say because I think there's, like I said, a lot of good guys here. The one that kind of like stands out to me is a Keith Combs. And only because if they get on a crankbait bite on that grass, he's going to be really hard to beat. Like, he'll catch.
Where did he win?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. I don't remember.
He won that smallmouth. He won one up there. What lake did he win at? Was it St. Clair?
It may have been St. Clair, actually. He won one cranking up there somewhere.
Yeah.
And if anybody can figure out how to catch him cranking that grass, it out of that entire group, it's going to be him.
Wasn't he throwing a big jig too?
I don't remember.
Okay,
I remember him cranking that.
I thought you were going to pick him as your dark horse. I was thinking about picking him. I couldn't remember.
I mean, it's really hard. It's either him or Shane LaHue, and both of them are going to catch him. So
yeah.
Who you got, Hallman?
I got a true dark horse out of this group. I think Austin Felix, 2.8%. He'll catch him. He's going to wear his pajamas and get her done.
All right, Shane, because my three guys were y'all's two. Y'all's two and Shane. Clearly.
I understand.
But we kind of know, though, like we've been fishing with some of these guys. We know that when the tour goes there and some of the guys on tour that, like, they're always there.
Yeah. Right.
And it definitely makes a difference. So let's go ahead and we could all say it together, or we could all just pick separately on this Group C. I think it's a fairly easy one. I say that. There's actually two people there that could make some noise. But I'll go ahead and let you go, Todd. Go for it.
No. Hold on. I want to see your two guys that can make some noise.
There's only one other guy that's highly owned.
That's highly owned?
Yeah. Oh, highly, yeah.
Garrett is a local and literally fishes that lake all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He has definitely caught him there. He had a stumble the last time they were there, but he's in a decent spot right now.
I know who's not going to stumble.
Yeah, I know one as well.
Next.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going Chris Johnston. I feel like we all are going Chris Johnston. Yeah. And my secondary pick, if I was to have a secondary pick, looking at this list of guys and they're all good, it would be a Wes Logan. I like Wes Logan there. He caught him there before. He has some confidence. He's a scrappy fisherman. He's 0.2%. So I think him or Cliff Perch. Actually, Cliff Perch is probably mine. Like, Cliff Perch is a finesse king and definitely knows how to catch those big smallmouth.
Perch is where I was headed with my my black sheep pick at 4.2, because I mean Perch is almost as strong as a pick as a Chris Johnston here. I mean he's really going to catch him here. I really do think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but at the end of the day, we got to pick the person who's going to, the true highest finisher out of each one of these groups. That is how you obtain the most amount of points. So in this situation, I don't know if anybody beats Chris Johnston out of this
group.
Look
at that look on Todd's face.
He's got his rally cap on right now.
Man,
he's like ready to go.
Yeah, because like, if not, I've been fishing so much, I'm dark, like, you can't see me. I just let y'all pick those. I went to the next group since I'm always behind.
I know another black one here too. I mean, another dark horse pick. Where did it just go? I just had it pulled up. Gosh dang it, there it is. So at 0.5% is Bernie Schultz, and Bernie has crushed on them the last two events up north. He likes smallmouth. It's a good pick if you're looking to make up some ground. Bernie 3 weeks in a row in top 20s. That'd be a stout pick. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's a momentum game. I can't tell you how many times that I've gone out there and had a good tournament, and it translated to like 3 good tournaments, 4 good tournaments, just because of the momentum I gained in that first event. And momentum's king in this event. That's why I think Chris Johnston is such a solid pick too. So, Todd, since you've been just scouring Group D, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you haven't looked at Bassmaster Fantasy, D and E are the very hardest.
Wait till you get to E, dude. It's worse than B.
No, D's the hardest, and I'm going to tell you why.
Well, tell us.
One, the percentages really threw me off when I looked at them, right? Like the first 3, and I was like, I'm just saying. Then I get down here and I see a Gerald Swindle. I don't even know what to think about. I don't know how I pick a Gerald on this place. You got Carl Jacobson who caught him there, but Carl can catch fit. Carl's a scary pick in fantasy sometimes because he is he catches them really good, or he's
He's one of those guys that could be the big bag, big fish, because that guy catches big ones. Like, he really does.
So, like, there's some really – this one's a tough one. My first – and I don't know why – this is because, like, it's hard not to pick Gerald. Gerald's, like, the best fisherman out of this group, right? But, like, St. Clair – the one that stood out to me the most, and I don't know why, was Greg DePalma.
Yeah.
That
When you look at research, I have diploma as well.
do
Diploma has quite a few top tens throughout the North, whether it be St. Clair,
yeah.
Champlain, Erie. The guy can catch them up there. Out of the group, I feel like he has the most top 10 experience.
That's it, that's why I said some of the percentages right off the bat, and I was like, a John Cruz. I mean, it just seemed like
And I
that.
want to clarify. I looked at because I spent a little time doing some research on this.
I don't.
John Cruz, his two top tens was one at the Classic and one at the St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at history, he's never had a top 10 up north.
I know it's like a Brian Schmidt deal. It's up there, but it's a little East Coast north. Like that's why I said it threw me for a loop. Yeah, I got Greg DePalma on that one, but I'm telling you, like I've just
See, I actually had as Jochimson as my backup pick on that deal.
okay. Yeah. I'm gonna pick him or Destin, but I'm gonna pick Carl for my back for like a.
Yeah, dark horse. What do you got, Hallman? We hadn't heard who you got. Your main pick. Who's your main pick here?
I really like my pick. If somebody's watching this and they want to know with some consistency what's going to happen, I like Mike Huff from Kentucky. He finished 6th or 7th here last year when they were here for the AOY championship. That's my pick. I looked at Swindle and some of that other stuff like you guys did. I went through Swindle's top 10. You can do some research on him. And dude, he's a South Carolina, Gunnersville, Kentucky Lake. I mean, I'm not going to ball on a guy that's done as much as he has in this business, but somebody's got to ball on him from time to time, and this is not his cup of tea.
Yeah, he actually had a one or two top tens up at like the St. Lawrence or like Champlain, St. Lawrence, that area. But St. Clair's a different animal, man. Like you either got it or you don't up there. I mean, it's just definitely it's a unique fishery, and
If I had to pick a dark horse out of the deal, just because of the way that place fishes, Brian Snowden at 1.7%, he likes the drop shot, he likes his grass, and sometimes those schools on St. Clair will sit still for 4 days, and if the mega schools, and that's how those guys won, it's pretty much sitting on a football field for 4 days, and Brian Snowden's that kind of guy.
When Jason Christie won that Open up there, I finished third, I think. I should have beat him, that lucky joker, but I caught mine all in about a football field size area, and I was drifting through there, and I mean it was just a bunch of massive smallmouth in that little spot, and if you went through there, you'd catch 2 or 3 just about every single pass you made. So it's just a special place. There's no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and jump right on into Group E. What you got, Hallman? Here, let's hear it. Group E's hard.
Yeah, let me flip over here. I didn't even look. Group E was extremely hard. I'm taking Lee Livesey. Livesey. Same type of deal. Lee was up here last year and did well in the event in the AOY, and so I know that he's been there once. I kind of like the younger guy coming out of that gate because there's some older guys in that group that were very tempting to pick in Group E, and I'm going to go with the Texan. He also likes red dirt and
Michelob.
Michelob
Ultra.
Yeah, he's a Michelob Ultra guy. Yeah, I'm down with that too. I actually went Lee Livesey as well. He actually spent, just like Clark Wendlandt, his entire time up north from the last event. And so I feel like he's really fine-tuned his smallmouth stuff. He had a good event at St. Clair. Now, granted, it fishes slightly different than some of the other Great Lakes, but still smallmouth. You still have to pattern them. You still got to catch them light line, that kind of stuff. But the outlier there is I feel like he can catch them fishing the grass, and I think that's going to be a major, major player in this event. What do you got, Todd?
Why is Bill Lowen picked so high?
Well, he's the highest ranked angler out of that group. He's had 4 top 50s, 3 top 35s. So he's highly, highly owned because he's highly ranked. And you see that sometimes, but in this situation, Bill Lowen, not saying he won't catch them, but he's a largemouth master with a chatterbait and a swim jig. It's hard
I know.
to go
Like
that direction.
I'm with you. I mean, Lee Livesey's the more, but man, the last week, Lee was in Group E as well, and I think Kobe Krieger was there, and Kobe Krieger ends up just smashing them, right? So I mean, Lee was my pick, and you're right, man, because I've been watching. He's been up there a bunch. He's been up there fishing a lot this whole time, fishing for smallmouth. So, I mean, that's gonna be my pick too. I mean, he kind of burnt me, Lee. You burnt me last week.
No doubt. He burned me too. I
But
really
I'm
had
not
a high
mad-
expectation.
I'm not mad at you, Lee. That's why I'm not mad at you. I'm gonna pick you again.
Hallman, who you got dark horse?
Oh,
I've got the entire Group E as the dark horse.
I actually have one dark horse in that one. I didn't pick him last time, and it bothered me. I should have, and I even talked about it. It's David Fritz. Will he make the runs? No. But if they are eating a crankbait, the guy's deadly. Like deadly with a crankbait.
Yeah, and they eat a crankbait there.
And they eat a crankbait there. And he understands the crankbait stuff is good or better than anybody I've ever talked to. He's forgotten more about cranking than I'll ever know, I think. So, who you got, Todd?
hey, where's Oakdale, California?
Right there by the California Delta. That's where one of my buddies lives.
Do they eat a Ned rig on the California Delta?
No, but they do over at some of their other mountain lakes.
Yeah,
Like what? Like Clear Lake?
like Clear Lake. Yeah.
That's where I was like, literally. That's where my head was going, man. Literally, I was like, they eat a Ned rig. I know a guy from Oklahoma that went over there and smashed them on a Ned rig in Oklahoma.
27 pounds on them the other day.
Yeah, you might want to go check out that video, guys from Clear Lake that don't know how to catch 26 pounds. Man, I don't even have one. I mean, man, I'll pick a Clun. I'll pick Clun. I haven't picked Clun all year.
I think that's a good pick. All right, guys. So here is our weight picks for the tiebreaker. Last time, I think we were just a bit under what they actually caught at Lake Champlain. I didn't expect him to catch them as good, but just lo and behold, the Bassmaster Elites always delivers. I don't know if it was less guys, less pressure, or what it was. Maybe the Champlain's just fishing that good, but they definitely demolished those weights. So tiebreaker weight, what do you got, Todd? What are you thinking?
Okay, so were we there 2 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I had 88 pounds is what I had, I think, and finished fifth or something, or sixth. I don't even, or something like that. And I wasn't even like, God, do I really have to pick that high?
Do I have to really pick that high? That's funny.
All right, I did it. 93 pounds, 9 ounces.
I'm going 94.6, so I'm a little higher than you because I just keep looking at it thinking it's going to be higher. It's going to be higher. It's going to be higher at St. Clair.
Hey, my first pick was 84 pounds, and I'm like, wait a minute.
This is where I messed up a couple times with this group when you look at, like, you're looking at some different weights, but there's just not that many guys in this field. There's 80 guys in this field, and it leaves a lot of water open. Now, I do not believe they can go to Canada in this tournament, so that's going to cut off some weight.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Shocker.
Dude, I could be fishing this tournament and not know we weren't supposed to go to Canada until like the day before practice.
I'd rather just tell you the day before the tournament. It works out better that way if you spend all your practice in Canada.
Man, I will say most of those weights when we were there all came on the Canadian side.
A lot of them did. Mm-hmm. I'm sticking with 94.6.
And what was yours, Todd?
I think it's too high, 93.9.
So I went 92.8.
Oh, well, okay.
Are we all too high? Are we all too high?
I don't think so. Actually, my initial pick was 97. I think they're absolutely – it's going to get kind of ridiculous. Like, if you look at the last time they were there in September. Seth Fighter blew it out. He was on pace to have 100 pounds after 4 days. I'm not saying every person in the field is going to do it, but I think there will be somebody that just blows it out. And I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if 97 doesn't win it, but I went 92 conservatively.
Well, the deal with a lot of that is is so this is one place pressure doesn't hurt them.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of places you put that many boats. I actually think, guys, I'm gonna shoot some truth out here. You ready for this? When you put that many boats on a place like Champlain, would y'all both agree that some people start driving around a little bit and just start looking for groups of boats? I mean, and sometimes those guys catch them. It probably helps the guys that know where these places are to go fish. But I'll say this, we didn't have wind. If they get wind one day, it totally messes that entire weight up. One day of wind can like, coming from the Canadian side, coming down, like, man, it could get nasty.
The only good thing is I feel like a lot of these fish are going to be caught either in the river,
Oh yeah, you're
St.
right.
Clair River, or in the mile roads, what they consider the mile roads area of St. Clair. And because that's where majority of that grass is, they tend to catch them on that American side through that mile road area.
I agree.
Honestly, like, it can blow and they still catch them. The biggest sack that I had when I almost beat Jason there was 23 pounds. It was in the mile road area, and it was blowing. There was like 4.5, 5 footers that day. I couldn't even stand on the front deck.
Where is that? Is that on the
It's on the American side.
No, I know, but is that like in the river of coming out of Huron, or is that closer to the takeoff? Or
No, it's closer to takeoff. It's basically that stretch between Detroit River and St. Clair River, all on the American side. If you actually drive your car down the bank of the lake, there's actually they call it the mile roads because the roads dead into the lake.
Okay.
So like 8 Mile and all, historic 8 Mile falls right into the lake.
Okay.
So
The river.
yeah, I really think you're going to see a lot of your weight coming either out of the mile roads or out of the St. Clair. Actually, I'd go out on a limb and say that the win out of this event is probably going to come out of St. Clair River.
Why didn't they catch them in the other event they just had?
Well, they were running all the way from Sandusky, and the two guys that did run up there smoked them so fast. Shuffield ran all the way up there every day, and he caught 20 pounds within an hour and a half.
But he didn't go into St. Clair.
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
No. Why weren't they catching them in that river? Is what I was asking.
They couldn't go all the way up in the St. Clair River. I mean, it was already a 90-mile run from Sandusky all the way to the mile roads. It didn't even make sense to go any further.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, to the mile roads. I was okay.
Yeah,
you got me wanting to get on Google Earth right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting event. How they catch them, how it's gonna set up, and especially when, like I said, you take out the Canadian side, it's gonna fish a bit smaller. But that's where the outlier runs in, is who's gonna make that run to Erie and fish, and that's gonna be a guy like Chad Pipkins that's gonna smash them, and he typically does it either with a drop shot in his hand or a crankbait, and that's his two baits of choice when he runs to Erie.
Corey and Chris might do the same.
They could. I want to say Corey did one time. It wasn't the last time. It was time before last that we went there. And it never surprises me that the Canadians going to run as far away from everybody as they can to find something that they kind of have to themselves. I think that definitely makes a big difference.
Those guys might go for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and another one that we didn't talk about is John Cox. And we all think John Cox, shallow water sight fisherman, grass fisherman, but he just wrapped up that FLW event down there in Sandusky, and he caught almost 20 pounds a day, smallmouth.
Does he have a pass?
I'm assuming he must, because he's going to be fishing both events.
I know, so he gets a pass. I guess he gets a pass for that thing, which is kind of.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, but he's got some, like, he has more knowledge of that place than anyone else right now, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that's different is you got to know without a shadow of a doubt, he did not even go to St. Clair.
No, you're right.
Because, like, why? He couldn't even make it to the mouth of the river, and back on one tank of gas. So he stuck it out down there, and he found enough that got him paid. I mean, so. Well, hey, guys, that wraps up our Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing picks for Lake St. Clair. Make sure you check them out. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe on Todd, Castledine, Bradley, Hallman. Thank you guys for joining us, and make sure you check it out. And thank you for playing Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing.